Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the technical blueprint for fixing your Meta Conversions API match quality. Look, if you've been running ads and feeling like your data is just kind of slipping through the cracks, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to map out exactly how tracking infrastructure works and how to get your data flowing correctly.
So let's get right into it. Are your Meta ads optimizing blindly? Because if you're struggling with poor ad performance, there's a very good chance your algorithm is running completely in the dark. You could be spending thousands of dollars, but if Meta can't connect your actual conversions back to the people who clicked your ads, all that budget is just being optimized based on pure guesswork.
6.0. That's the magic number, or rather, it's the absolute threshold for failure. An event match quality score, or EMQ, below 6.0 means you've got a critical tracking gap in your backend. If you're sitting at a 3, a 4, or even a 5.9, Meta is literally telling you that your server-side tracking is broken and they are missing the pieces they need to find your next customer.
Now, here's the really scary part. Server-side tracking failures, they happen completely silently. Unlike a standard browser pixel error, where you usually get a big flashy warning in the Events Manager or a browser extension flags it immediately, server-side failures don't trigger obvious alarms. When the Conversions API breaks or sends incomplete data, crickets. It just fails quietly, and you usually only notice it when your cost per acquisition suddenly skyrockets.
Here is our step-by-step agenda for today. First, the silent optimization killer. Second, mapping the data flow. Third, decoding tracking parameters. Fourth, formatting the perfect payload. Fifth, avoiding common mistakes. And finally, achieving high match quality.
Let's start with Section 1, the silent optimization killer. Why low event match quality happens. So, what is event match quality anyway? When you open up the Meta Events Manager, an EMQ score below 6.0 indicates Meta cannot securely match your server events to real users due to missing customer data. It's kind of like trying to deliver a package without a zip code. You know the package was sent, that's your conversion, but Meta doesn't know exactly which user's house to drop the attribution credit at. And this happens almost exclusively because of missing or improperly formatted data.
This really highlights a crucial point. Migrating to server-side tracking is honestly only half the battle. Implementing the Meta Conversions API introduces severe technical friction. You can't just flip a switch to turn on server-side tracking and call it a day. You actually have to send the exact right data to make it work. Moving on to Section 2, mapping the data flow, the FBC data extraction architecture. You absolutely cannot rely on the browser anymore. You have to dynamically capture the click identifier and route it through your backend API following a very specific sequence. Step 1, a user clicks an ad, and Meta appends the FBC LID. Step 2, your landing page captures that and stores it. Step 3, an automation tool like a Make.com webhook intercepts and parses the payload. Step 4, the CAPI payload is mapped to FBC and sent right to the Meta API. If any single step in this flow breaks, your score is going to plummet. Section 3. Decoding tracking parameters, demystifying FBP and FBC.
There are very specific identifiers you must extract. You've got your primary IDs, like email and phone numbers, which are absolutely critical and must be strictly SHA-256 hashed. But then you have your technical identifiers, the FPB, which tracks sessions, and the FBC, which attributes ad clicks. Both are important, but the FBC is critical. And of course, IP addresses help with geographic matching. If you're missing these, especially the properly formatted user data, your score will definitely tank.
Now, the operational gap most media buyers miss is the exact difference between the FBP and the FBC. The FBP, the Facebook Browser ID, is auto-generated by the base pixel for every single visitor. That part is easy. But the FBC, the Facebook Click ID, that only generates when a user physically clicks an advertisement. It's the direct bridge between an ad dollar spent and a customer acquired. This leads to a really common false positive when troubleshooting. Organic testing will not generate the FBC parameter. So if you test your funnels organically, like just typing a URL into your browser to see if it works, the FBC won't exist at all. You'll look at your server logs, see the FBC is missing, and panic, thinking your setup is broken. It's not. You just didn't click an actual ad. Always keep this in mind.
Section 4. Formatting the perfect payload, normalizing your server data.
Capturing the data is just step 1. Now you have to format it perfectly. According to Meta's strict developer guidelines, all personally identifiable information, or PII, has to follow exact rules before you send it.
You gotta normalize it, make it all lowercase, and remove any white space. Then apply SHA-256 hashing to emails and phones. Plus, the event time can't just be a standard calendar date. It has to be a strict Unix timestamp, which is literally the number of seconds since the year 1970. Finally, ensure the exact JSON array configuration. It sounds super nerdy, but this is the exact language Meta's servers speak. And trust me, Meta is unforgiving. A single capital letter or a tiny trailing space in an email will immediately drop your EMQ. You have to use standard lower SHA-256 functions, because if you misconfigure the data, Meta will reject the whole payload entirely with a 400 bad request error. Just one accidental tap of the spacebar by a customer can ruin the entire match. Section 5, Avoiding Common Mistakes, the Traps in CAPI Integration. There are 3 major traps that can instantly ruin your score. First, relying only on the FB without actually capturing the FBC. Second, improperly hashing data without normalizing it first. And third, batching your server-side events to run hourly. That last one is a particularly dangerous trap. We call it the batching penalty. High latency absolutely disrupts Meta's real-time optimization processes. Events must be synchronous. A lot of people think, hey, I'll just batch my events and send them once an hour to save on server operations. No way. Don't do this. CAPI requests must be sent as close to real-time as possible. Delayed data just severely degrades the machine learning. Section 6, Achieving High Match Quality. Reaching the 6.0 plus goal. Hitting a score of 6.0 or higher proves your server payload successfully contains that hashed customer data and those critical identifiers. It means your algorithm is no longer optimizing blindly, and you've successfully linked your backend tracking directly to actual Facebook users. When you see that green indicator, you know every ad dollar is being guided by real-time, accurate attribution. So what does this all mean? It means it's totally possible to bypass manual JSON formatting, stop optimizing blindly, and build a complete real-time attribution hub today. As browsers keep restricting traditional tracking, server-side connections aren't just a cool tactic anymore. They are pure survival. Are you ready to secure your event data for a cookieless future? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to dive into your server payloads right now.